The best Mythic Plus comes for Season 2 Patch 12.1. Hey guys, Petko here, welcome for another video. We have discussed this on Sunday on stream for pretty much 2 hours. I decided to make a dedicated video instead of giving you 1.5 hour vote on YouTube. Just pretty much 10-15 minutes of yap and my thoughts on what's looking to be the best next season. And if I were to make a definitive opinion, I'm gonna go for my thoughts so far. But keep in mind, there might be one more patch coming out, I believe between Thursday and Friday, which can alter all of this. But that's not really sure. And if there is another class change before the season, I'll make a video. Again, season begins in 8 days from this video, or 7, I guess it depends on where you're from. Okay, enjoy. The most important thing to understand for the tanking is Blood Decay currently is looking to be incredibly good. The only reason why it is good is because high damage, tanky. Has no rate buff. All of the negatives stay negative, right? But they are doing pretty much consistently, significantly more damage than the second best tank. That's why Blood Decay goes here. However, big curveball. If there's any spec to get nerfed, I'm willing to bet Blood Decay is gonna be on the front rows. So yeah, Blood Decay for overall best comp, whether you play caster or fist comp, doesn't really matter. It goes both ways. Healers, a lot of things to talk about here. Healers, Holy Paladin for casters or hybrids, overall the best. Fist comp is gonna benefit a lot more from a Restoration Shaman. Rest Shaman, insanely high crowd control, stuns, great the utility for the upcoming season. Poison Dispel, Disease Dispel, BL Purge, 5th Interrupt, which can be helping at some point, depending on what you're fighting with. Holy Paladin, the strongest para-target healing, which can save you a lot if you are playing with squishy classes. Passive DRs for the whole team, consistently. Good externals, sacrifice, AM as well, Aura Mastery. Has a bubble, good mob control as well, and overall is looking to be pretty strong HPS-wise, likely one of the strongest. The only downside of Holy Paladin is right now just damage output. Doesn't look to be the best, especially if you compare this something like Press Evoker. Again, Press Evoker looking to be incredibly strong, both HPS and DPS. I've talked about that spec for like probably 20 minutes alone on stream. TLDR, if you are really good at this spec, you can make it work. It's obviously less than Holy Paladin and the rest Shaman, likely third best. But for the mass amount of you, Press is going to be a massive bait. You're going to not perform as good because people in dungeons are not aware how to play with Press. You know, they're going to stand on the back as a range. You need them to be in melee. You won't be able to heal them, especially if you're new to the dungeons. You never seen them before. By the time you understand where the damage comes from, your team is going to die. So inexperienced players are going to suffer the most from Flavor of the Month rollers on Press. I'm going to bet on Holy Paladin and the rest Shaman. DPSers. Now here is the interesting part. I overall believe right here the most important thing when it comes down to DPSing is going to be hyper carry meta, support spec, and one that is a filler. Currently, I have the hyper carry for overall best comp to be Arcane and Arms Warrior. I'm gonna explain why they both play together. It does sound kind of weird, but the current tuning pushes us to play Arms. Arms, very strong single target. Likely is gonna save you a couple of seconds to a minute each boss, especially if you have Funnel on. Yes, Funnel is not as strong as Colossus, we already know this, but the overall single target, even on just one target without really having to do with any Funnel, it's still incredible. Low target count, incredibly good. Sustained damage, incredibly good. Or passively also tanky. So overall, Arms looking to be incredible next season. Whether you play it in Fist Comp or Caster Comp, it's looking incredible. Arcane Mage on the other hand, I mean, we've seen times and times again, if this spec is tuned right, it can become meta, and this season is no different. One of the highest single target, if not the highest single target, incredibly strong para damage in Funnel as well, and AoE is looking all good. All those 4 directions of measuring the power of a spec are looking great for Arcane. They also buff the defenses for Arcane. They also provide a Arcane intellect to the entire party, which means your Paladin will heal more, which obviously is great. And once again, mob control hasn't changed on mages this season. It's gonna be the same as last one. And last but not least, this is gonna be the flex comp. Now this is the support spec. Anything here fits. Now I spoke about it on stream. We can see Devourer DH going here because Devourer Void Scar does very good prio and also ST. The problem Devourer Demon Hunter right now is you're split into 2 builds. Collapsing are doing mass AoE, less ST, less prio, less Funnel, while the Void Scar does the other way around. So if there's any spec that can cover the AoE part, Devourer might work here as well. You benefit from Arcane Mage, you buff the Holy Paladin and Arcane Mage with your Chaos Brand. However, Another spec on the horizon might make more sense. Here comes the Ellie. Ellie buffs the entire party. Wind Fury Farms Warrior and Mastery. Mastery for Arcane Mage, Mastery for Holy Pally, and Mastery for Blood Decay. Plus the toolkit of Elemental Shaman is looking to be once again incredibly good next season. You got Poison, Disease Spell, and BL, and Purge. All of those are quite important when it comes down to tackling next season. But yes, definitely double casted with Arms Warrior does kind of sound weird. And for the most part, it might not work well. Now, people are going to be like, oh, you can play Boomy instead of Arms Warrior. You have no idea how much of a disadvantage it is going to be if you actually play Boomy. If you actually remove Arms Warrior and play Balance Druid or Devourer DH instead of Arms Warrior, this comp is weaker. The only reason why it's weaker is because Arms is so much stronger. Even if Devourer gives you 3% more damage on you and Elemental, Arms is just so strong that you cannot just ignore it. And I feel like Arms will be played in an overall best comp. In the current tuning, if they don't nerf it, it's Arms all the way. If there are 2 specs to bet, Arms as melee, Arcane as range. This is going to be a flex spot. You can also see a decay. If Ellie can't live, then, you know, you already know some of the highest keys in the world cannot have Ellie because Ellie can't live it. But overall, they are still pretty relatively tanky, just not the tankiest. If you can live it, you might see double decay. Not even kidding, by the way. You might see double decay. You get buff from the warrior, which again, you're gonna do 5% more damage. Or you can also play with Frost Decay instead of Unholy. It all depends on what you're gonna be fitting. So that's gonna be the overall best comp. I think it can fluctuate depending on what you have geared, what people are going to be playing for the Water First Race, and what they will be playing after that. Because you gotta remember, the initial first meta or highest keys are going to be done by the classes that are good in raid, because those classes will get prioritized loot. You're going to get more loot, you're going to play them highest level of keys, and people are going to be like, oh shit, it's blasting. The same bait that happened last season. So yeah, if Ellie's bot in raid, you might not play them in high M plus the first month, but once again, meta is gonna solidify as soon as the Water First Race is over. Then people are gonna understand, okay, X, Y, Z as well. Let's play it out. So for now, I'm betting on this. This is my final choice. I'm a bit biased against Ellie because I'm Ellie main. I would love this to be the case, but you know, you can play this. You can play Balance Druid here instead of Elemental. You can play Devourer DH, Frost, Unholy. That's about it. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Okay, Fizz comp. This is very easy to say. Obviously, Arms Warrior once again goes there. We already spoke about why it should be the meta, and even more so in Fizz comp. Another spec, Windwalker Monk. I mean, currently, Windwalker is doing absolutely incredible. If you guys haven't seen it, one of the highest DPS burst specs in the game. It does incredibly well, both as minor and major cooldowns. So, overall, thumbs up. The only concern of mine of Monk is being able to live. If you can live through the hard encounters, then Monk will stay in Fizz comp meta 100%. 100%. It all depends if you can live. The final spec here is going to be Outlaw. I don't think Pharaoh has any chance to compete against Outlaw or Windwalker. These two are much stronger than Pharaohs. But once again, it will come down to survivability. Can you live? Can you live as a Windwalker? Can I live? If you can live, then sure. But if you cannot, then this spec might get replaced by Retribution Paladin, which is very unlikely to be replaced by Retribution Paladin. It's more likely to be replaced by Pharaoh. At least Pharaoh buffs the whole party by 3% and also has an extra suit just in case you need it, and also, you know, second CR in case Blood Decay dies. That's about Fizz comp. This will be like really strong. Again, I am betting currently on Windwalker, if anything. However, here's the twist. If Blood Decay gets to be nerfed, which I really hope to get nerfed, by the way, if Blood Decay gets to be spanked, this will open the door to so many comps. Specifically for Fizz comp, if it does get to be nerfed, I would love to see here, where is the spec? Guardian. If Guardian damage gets buffed, I think they're already quite tanky, but the problem is just damage. If Guardian damage gets to be buffed and Blood Decay gets to be nerfed, you can get to play with Guardian once again Fizz comp, because you buff the entire party with 3% versatility, which is incredible. On top of having your Arms Warrior buff, on top of having your Windwalker buff, you know, Outlaw Rogue is gonna go bonanza, and Mastery on top. This might be actually the goated comp and might become the best comp in the game, even better than those guys. So yeah, I think we've never seen Fizz comp and overall best comp, which is casters, being that close. I'm gonna give the edge to the Fizz comp actually on the highest or the highest level keys, unless obviously you know, a Blood Decay remains. If Blood Decay remains that OP, then Yeah, I'm picking this comp upstairs. So for now, these are my comps when it comes down to next season. I am betting, however, on a Guardian Druid being up there. That's why for the alternative comp, I will choose to play with Guardian here instead of Prot Pally. Prot Pally, even if Blood Decay gets nerfed, I'm not sure if you're going to play Prot Pally and Holy Paladin at the same time. It might be a little bit sussy, Double Paladin. That's why VDH here might make more sense for me personally. I'll love to see VDH as well. Deployment with VDH is currently not tanky enough, right? It does good damage, has good mob control. It fits the best this comp for sure. It's just not tanky enough. If I see durability buffs on Vengeance, maybe we can see it in a best comps in the world, maybe. But until then, I am betting on Blood Decay 100% of the times. Also, Blood Decay hasn't really seen to be the meta for a while, so I could see it happening. Yeah, that's about it. So that's why I have the alternative just in case those two guys get to be nerfed. I think a lot of things can happen. Sad news for Hunters. I don't see Hunter anywhere. I mean, obviously you can play Hunter in a Fist comp. It is gonna sacrifice the Rogue here. Likewise for the caster comp, if you remove the items and remove the arcane, any other spec can work here, including all the warlocks, augmentation evoker, death evoker as well. They all can go up there if you like to, or you can try to play once again double decay. I've already mentioned this earlier today, but double decay might also work here. It all depends on exactly what you're looking for and how high are you aiming to push. That's my thoughts on the meta and what looks to be good at least the early into the season. Once again, once the 0.5 patch comes out, or at least month into the season, we're gonna make a video talking about how the meta is looking like and whether something has changed and whether I was right, somebody was wrong, etc. We're gonna make a feedback, and yeah, it'll be a fun video. Thank you for watching, and once again, if you enjoy the videos, make sure to thumbs up and like and subscribe. The best way to show support and makes me helps me make more videos. That's all. Thank you for watching. See you next time.